Athletes and fans around the world, welcome to another Primetime Muscle. So glad to have you. I'm Tim Wilkins, joined by these two great guys. Chris Cormier, the real deal. It's just laughter. We say action and we got to start over and over because they're just laughing. Chris Cormier, the real deal.
My man.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Good, good. Derek Ogilvy.
Great to be here, Tim. I love the tie. Man, you're so elegant. And I must say, despite the fact that he looks a bit constipated, he's got a nice suit, a nice shirt. He's got the Cartier Ballon Bleu. You know, he looks good. He looks
Pan down.
Are you
pan
okay?
down.
Are you okay, Chris? You feeling good?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel up to here.
Well, in a previous episode, we had Whitney Jones on talking about her book Windbroken, and I just thought I'd throw out the question, you know, because Missy Truscott has said, "I'm moving to women's figure." And
Man,
yeah,
you cannot doubt this woman. I mean, she is the apex predator. She came back from a horrible injury to win the Olympia. She made a decision. She's going to go to figure. She's fearless. She's insane. She's crazy. She's mad. But I wouldn't bet against Missy Truscott on anything in this life. Like I said, you put her in the Amazon jungle, that woman is going to come out alive after 3 years.
wearing a snakeskin belt.
Correct.
So, Chris, you know, we had some turnover. We got some great new exciting possibilities in a lot of divisions here. Sid Gillen has stepped down from her reign as the figure champion.
There she is right
The
here.
icon.
The icon.
The icon.
Come on, Sid. Come over in the show. honey.
Bring her on in here. Why don't you just join us for this segment?
Good to see you, Sid. Be over there by the global formulas. And, well, without Sydney, that means Jessica Reyes-Padilla and Lola Montez and Natalia Soltero were going to be banging it out for that top spot. Now, what do we think about Missy Truscott coming in to mix things up?
Well, she dominated the fitness round when it came to the two-piece, right? The posing, the comparisons. She won that dominated. There was nobody even close to it. And I think that's what triggered her to say, you know what? One day I might do figure. I think she's going to do a show. Speculation has it that she might show up in New York at the New York Pro, at Steve Weinberger's New York Pro, to attempt to earn her qualification to the Figure Olympia Championship. And after that competition, Tim, we'll be able to see, okay, if she wins and she impresses, I think she's a contender. If she doesn't qualify, then I'll be the first one to say it. Well, she might be a year away from maximizing her potential. But the New York Pro, where it's speculated that she's going to do her debut as a figure competitor, will tell all our answers. I believe, I'm making a speculation here, that she's going to win New York. And she's going to mix things up at the Olympia. What say you, Chris Cormier?
What say you? Well, Missy, I think if she does do New York, and like I said before, I think this competitor was able to do this years ago before already. I'm just wondering what's that going to look like on her lower half as opposed to, is she going to come in underdeveloped or overdeveloped? Just being a devil's advocate a little bit. Or is she going to take this figure title and make the whole criteria looking more like her? I think she's probably wider than most of the competitors as far as her large clavicle bones, you know, if you will. And those delts are sitting up there, and she extend those things up, you know, sort of like this when she's competing. I mean, I think she's going to be kind of overwhelming to a lot of girls up there. What do you think?
Here's the tough thing, Chris, and this is what's always hard. When somebody posts a check-in picture under the perfect light at LA Fitness, and they're in a locker and everything's great. You go, they look amazing. Then they get on stage with the other pros. You go, you look good. When you've been dominating figure in the physique or fitness in the physique round, what's it going to look like when that top fitness quality physique gets up against the big dogs? Like I've stood next to, I was working out at the Dragon's Lair 5 feet away from Natalia Soltero last year before the Olympia and thought, I had no idea she was that big. I saw Jessica Reyes Padilla getting ready for the Olympia last year and she looked big. It's going to be interesting.
Small.
Tiny, but just everything was just perfect. And the shoulder caps and the delts and everything was just beautiful. What is Missy going to look like when she's not standing next to fitness competitors?
That's a good point, Tim. She's very powerful and dominant against those girls, and it's mostly because of her size. She has more size than some of the other competitors. That impact might be taken away from her once she's next to Lola Montez, Natalia Soltero. I think you're right. You have a good point.
I get one every once in a while.
No, you do, yeah. At least one of you guys got a good point. But I still think she has enough in her physique to win the New York Pro and be at the first call out at the Olympia. I don't know if she can win the Olympia, but if I was to speculate here, I think she can win New York Pro and be at the first call out at the Olympia.
Wow, that would be phenomenal. Now, so what was it, the Night of Champions? Before it was the New York Pro, before it was New York Pro, or has it always been New York? There was
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions.
So Night of Champions.
Which Chris Cormier has won that show.
And I have the rings to prove it.
Do we ever doubt you? We never doubt you.
Oh,
This
you
guy
doubted
does.
him that time when you said you did win the Arnold, didn't you?
No, he didn't doubt me. He know what his eyes told him.
That was the
His
best
eyes-
moment of primetime muscle.
His eyes told
when he stabbed you in the
He
heart.
didn't stab me.
He stabbed you in the heart
No,
with
his
that.
eyes told him.
You know,
what he
I
actually
always
saw
thought of
was
Tim
the winner.
Wilkins as a nice
saw the
guy,
winner.
but that day he stabbed you in the heart
wanted-
and he spooned
I
your
won it
soul.
at least 2 or 3 times.
Spooned your soul. Hey, Tarek,
2 or 3 times
just,
a winner.
I know you like to make sure that you're a family guy. If you ever need more time at home, getting a job as a bus driver is definitely, because you will drive the bus over us all day. That would be a great career for you.
To endure my harassment, you can use Endure from Global Formulas. So if you're going through a stressful muscular fatigue, you had a great workout, or you have Tarek harassing you like I do with Chris Cormier, you have Endure from Global Formulas, one of my favorite supplements.
So I am going to be. Let's put some pictures of Missy up here and see kind of what we're looking at here.
The tie
Stay there, Sid.
Tarek.
What's that?
Okay.
I missed the tie there. I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
My tie?
Yeah, it's nice.
You like it?
Okay.
Outfit today, buddy.
This was her pre-judge routine from last year's Olympia.
So what is she gonna need to do, my judging friend?
Well, first of all, man, look, that's an incredible physique, right? I mean, you can see the shoulders. I don't think she's going to be overpowered. I think she's going to fit in just well. She's got the perfect quarter turns,
Tiny
the
waist.
abdominal section, and look at that V-tape.
Okay, stop right there, would you please? Okay.
Look at that.
Woo!
Look at that V-taper.
Could
Look
she
at
be
that
the
V-taper.
new criteria in the sport?
Listen, I'm going to say this. She is, I sounded like Nico right now, but she is possibly one of the best V-tapers in bodybuilding right now. One thing is, I think she can kind of contain the shoulders and maybe get a little bit more of the legs. And Jessica Padilla has the separation on the legs, and Lola Montez is a bit, you know, she's
to
big.
contain
She's got those huge calves. But I think, guys, mark my words. I think Missy Truscott is winning the New York Pro, and she's going to be on the first call out of the Olympia.
Contending.
I'll go
And
with
I
that.
think she's going to be contending. And I think if you put her between Lola Montez and Jessica Padilla,
Might be the.
she can do it. She can do it. I think Missy can be.
She can do it.
I think Missy
can do
can
it.
be
You can do it.
the next figure Olympia champion. I do think this apex predator has the potential to do it.
Now,
You
how
can do it.
How pissed would you be? We talked about this a couple of years ago with Ramon Dino. We said if Chris steps up, we said if Chris Bumstead steps down, you said, well, Ramon's the guy. And I said, not so fast. How pissed would you be to be battling number 2 and 3 all those years with Lola and Jessica Padilla and Natalia Soltero jockeying back and forth 2, 3, 4, waiting for number 1 to step aside or beat her, and then Missy Truscott steps up and bam.
You need
bam.
to check on me. You need to check on me.
Yeah.
It is what it is, okay? Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, Sean Ray, Nasser El Somebody, they've all been fighting right there. When 1998 came along and Flex Wheeler was a sure thing to win the title, Chris was there, Nasser was the previous runner-up. Then Ronnie Coleman showed up. I can say as an Olympia judge, we don't care about what happened in the past. We don't care about what's going to happen in the future. If Missy Truscott shows up on stage and she's the best figure physique, she's going to come out of there as the champion.
That would be something. That would be the next best thing to Ronnie Coleman getting the title in '98 over someone that's been there for the previous, how many years she been
5,
second?
7 years? Oh, no, for Jessica?
For Jessica. How
It's
many
been
years?
2 or 3 years, and then Natalia Soltero's been in that top spot for a couple of years, too.
Latoya.
Well, guys, it's gonna be a great year. We've also got another division to talk about when we come back, women's physique, and that's been a battle between 2 very top names for quite a while.
Sticky situation.
Sticky cheers and jeers. We're going to
Cheers
talk
and
about
jeers.
that and more when we come back on Primetime Muscle. And we're back, and we're talking about women's physique. Sarah Villegas has been dominant the last couple of years, coming off of the year that Natalia Coelho won, and now we're talking about, again, now I will say, you talk about what somebody's strategy is going to be without knowing what somebody else is doing to retain that title, but in that interim, I will tell you that Natalia has gone out there and tried to be an ambassador to the sport, which I applaud.
Listen, I think she's an incredible ambassador. She's always promoting. She shares our Primetime Muscle shows. She goes to the seminars. She's a beautiful, beautiful ambassador for the sport. But besides that, she wants to win. And there's one big problem for Natalia. It's called Sarah Villegas. Okay, there's a rivalry there, but Sarah has now won 4. Natalia has won 1. When Natalia won, the main aspect was the legs were thicker. And I love her physique. It's a beautiful physique. But Sarah Villegas' legs make her waist look small and just changes her whole physique. When Natalia Coelho beat Sarah Villegas, I could see it at the New York Pro that Natalia was bringing a different physique. What's happening right now is Natalia is coming in with her conditioning. She's pushing the conditioning, and I think in the final weeks, losing a little bit of the quads and the hamstrings. And then Sarah shows up, and she's got those amazing quads. Now, Natalia has a beautiful back double biceps with a lot of detail. She's a master poser, and she can beat Sarah. What she needs to do is, when she's coming down with the conditioning, which is very important for her, is to maintain the volume on the legs. That's what she needs to do.
But in physique, a lot of these girls are not too thick in their legs. They're more shape and a big step up from the figure physique. But there's a girl that took 3rd also. Is she far back in your eyes, Tim? Do you think? The girl that took 3rd last year, she won the New York Pro.
Sharonica.
Sharonica. She is she far back from those girls?
She
'Cause-
is. I think there's a significant difference between Sharonica and Natalia and Sarah Viegas, especially on the leg development.
Oh yeah, for sure there.
Especially on
I
the
can
leg
see
development. Because Sharonica has the conditioning. She has good lines. She's a great poser.
Great.
But her legs are smaller than Natalia. And that's what's
Yeah.
preventing Natalia from beating
Right.
Sarah Viegas. So Sharonica has an uphill battle against these two. The key question is, can Natalia Coelho come in with the legs? She did it in New York 3 years ago, and she came and won the Olympia. She needs to do that.
It's not all about just a bulky leg, because it's more of a streamlined look in the physique. So it's gonna be some good training and connecting with her upper thighs and keeping a shapely look. It's not gonna be a bulky look that you're looking for. You're not trying to be open bodybuilding for women.
What's funny you should say that, because like you were talking about with Sharonica, the previous years we've also had the top 5 of Brooke Walker, Ivy Rain, and Barbara Minaj. And there was a lot of scrambling last year with people that weren't in the show, but there was that big gap between the top 2. And when it gets, Sarah's got that signature pose that's kind of that side lunge thinker pose, where she hits that, and the glute dices, and the ham hangs. Yes, everything just dices. And 3 years ago, when Natalia won, she had some different feedback from the judges that got her there. And then the next year, she competed a lot, which you frowned upon. You said
she went to Brazil. She went to
New York. She did 3
maybe
or 4.
one more even.
And then at the end of the year after Olympia, she did the Atlantic Pro with Tim Gardner. But you frowned on that. And then last year, she pretty much took off and wasn't quite ready. What do you think the magic number, magic formula is for her to dial it in and then get on stage?
I think the magic number is for her to do a show like the New York Pro with big legs, come in, and she can even test her physique and then shut it down for the Olympia. I think this is the magic. Do a show in May, test the physique, the legs are there. We came down with the conditioning, but we kind of carved up aggressively. We didn't do as much cardio. The quads are still there. And then go to the Olympia with that same strategy. I think that's the on the mark for Natalia.
Is that Pittsburgh? Did she do Pittsburgh also, and then New York?
Yes.
I think that was it.
There was about 5 shows last year, even before the Olympia.
Natalia. So the thing is, Sarah is not trying to lose that title anytime soon. I think these two girls think about each other for the whole year. I don't care what anybody say. If I'm 1 and 2 and going back and forth with a girl, I'm drawing a beat on that person throughout the whole year. And that's my thoughts to my cardio, my training, my diet. I'm going to see and study where can I go, what can I do, and how can I be better than that other girl.
It's a great point, because they when Natalia won, it became an incredible rivalry, right? We had Olympia battle here, and Dennis James had a round table. It was a square table, but they were facing each other. But it's really incredible, because I don't think Sarah would have been this good if it wasn't for Natalia, right? Sarah is an extremely competitive person. She hated losing to Natalia, and she said, there's no way. I talked to her coach, which happens to be her husband, Ali. He's a friend of mine, and he goes, Tarek, we give credit to Natalia. She showed up with a different physique. She was better. Man, how many coaches have that kind of mindset, right? I knew he was right on the money when he was talking about that. He gave credit to Natalia's improvement. And he said, but I know what to do to regain the title. And he did exactly what he told me, and he regained the title. And Natalia wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for Sarah. So we're watching Isaiah Thomas against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would have never been this good if he hadn't lost to Isaiah Thomas twice in the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Right.
That made Michael Jordan tougher. And I think Natalia and Sarah they played that same story.
Yeah, and Michael Jordan went to the weight room and got muscled up, got stronger, and came back and got his title. Tarek, I noticed Natalia, she hits this shot probably like I would probably teach it. I like the both knees are bent, and there's that sartorius muscle, and you can see the pressure point from the ball of her foot all the way to her hips. Do you think with Sarah doing more of a straight leg shot over a shot like this, like what is?
Well,
what are you
here's
looking
what
at?
I think. I think when her feet are to the outside, you can see more of the quads, right?
Yeah.
I would try to do the same with this other leg, right? So I can create more of a quad volume on the sides. Natalia will never miss the separation on her legs. She came out of the womb with this separation on her legs. She's like incredible. But look at the quads. She's got quads. Look at the quads. She's got quads. She has quads.
But also, if you bring that toe is about 10 o'clock. If you bring that toe about 9 o'clock and slide that heel through a little bit more, that's going to create a little bit more volume in that leg, even with this,
I agree.
Just this pose.
It's, maybe it's the posing. Chris is right, because when you look at this, I mean, Tim, you would love to have quads like Natalia.
Oh, I'd be classic. I wouldn't be men's physique.
Those are some good quads.
Well, but to your point, Tarek, guys, Chris, when you look at this, and Tarek was just talking about the separation, all the striations and feather and the teardrop, and it's an actual teardrop. Previous episodes, we have shown Olympia posing routines from the men's open guys that didn't have that separation, that didn't have that level of definition in their quads.
Nope. And I do like, when she came back to this last competition, she had a cleaner look to her. She had not the same imbalances that I think held her back in the previous year. And I think she's going to be dangerous this year.
All right, Chris, if Tarek ever has a paper cut on his junk, we know why. So, put those cardboard cutouts down, Tarek. So that is Natalia Coelho. We're going to come back on Primetime Muscle. We're going to talk about a different Natalia Kovaleva when we come back. And we're back. And women's bodybuilding has been in transition as well, with some new players coming to the top of the circuit. One of the big ones from a couple years ago, Natalia Kovaleva.
Man, Natalia Kovaleva brings a level of muscle development in the women's bodybuilding that we have not seen in years. I had a chance to judge another great bodybuilder, Anastasia Korableva, and she had huge legs. But I feel like Natalia Kovaleva is more aesthetically pleasing than Korableva. Natalia has a small waist. She's got the legs. She's got the arms. The physique is very good. And she's taking 1 year off, training with the great Dennis the Menace. And she said after the Olympia, she was on the first call out. She did a great job. She impressed the hell out of us, but she didn't have a great back. And right after I had a chance to talk to her, and Natalia, she's Russian. She's going to be like straight up. And I said, Natalia, you look great. Congratulations. Awesome physique. And then she cut me and says, yeah, but my back was shit. And I'm like, man, she's straight to the point, right? And I said, listen, it just needs to be a little bit more developed, but I'm glad that you are looking at it and you say, you know what? This is something I need to improve. So there's tremendous excitement to see what she can do with a great back, right? We were just criticizing Samson Dauda for not having a good back. The guy shows up with a back and wins the Olympia. And I think after 1 year, if Natalia Kovaleva shows up at the Olympia with a back, I think she can be a threat to beat Andrea Shaw.
Yeah, I think pushing, she's a big time pusher with the heavyweight and everything. You know, to see more development, maybe I think if she incorporated, I don't know if she's doing it or not, deep tissue massage can help this lady go to the next level. It did the same with Jay Cutler. Back in '99, he took, 16th in Olympia. And after the show, I was telling him that I've been getting deep tissue massage since I was a teenager. That has helped me in my career, helped me in my development, my separation. And I think that's something I believe would help her and catapult her up in the standings and get her more development. And increases their mind-muscle connection. And, you know, developing the back and coming back, if she improved the back, that's going to stand tall in the judges' standing. I think that's going to be something that's going to be the thing that's going to catapult her.
Now, Tarek, in that first call out, as they jockeyed around, was there a time where we got to see Angie Yo, Andrea Shaw, and Natalia kind of duking it out side by side to see the comparison?
So, you know, we did get to see them 2 years ago, and it was really interesting because you can clearly see Natalia is a different specimen there, right? She is bigger than Andrea Shaw. She has the size. And we're not talking about just, you know, plenty of size, but no waist. She has a small waist. So we've seen Andrea Shaw beat a lot of competitors, you know, and we saw her lose to Angela Yo because she wasn't at her best. But I think Natalia brings a different perspective. If Natalia has a back and Natalia is conditioned, she's not a threat to win one show from Andrea Shaw. She can be a threat to dethrone Andrea Shaw for years to come. That's the potential, right? She's like the Andrew Jacked of women's bodybuilding. She has all the tools to become Miss Olympia. She needs to get the back and the conditioning. If she does that, she could be the next one in line to be Miss Olympia.
I believe so too. I second that emotion. I think, and the posing, I think you can improve the posing. How do you feel about her posing?
Well, I don't think her posing is ineffective. I actually think she's a good poser. Can she pose better? No doubt. I think Andrea Shaw is a master of posing.
But if you can roll, but in the side chest, if she can roll that shoulder back and open up that pec instead of keeping it closed off, I'm not sure how that feels for her, but I would probably roll that left shoulder back here and open up that area.
No doubt. And look at the size of her arms. Here I go again with my cardboard, guys. So we got here Andrea Shaw. And Andrea Shaw beats the hell out of everybody, especially on the arms, right? The arms of Andrea Shaw. Look at this. Now, right here,
Pull it down a little bit.
we have big arms right here.
Get her in the light. She's a darker girl.
Right here. We have big arms right here, too. Nico, can you get it?
There you go. It's in the light.
So, is in the light right here?
Yeah.
I mean, who can fight in terms of arms with Andrea Shaw? The only one is Natalia Kovaleva. You know what I mean? Look at the biceps right there.
There we go.
There we go.
Move your thumbs, buddy.
So,
Sorry.
I think Natalia can be the next one in line. I think she needs to come in. She needs to get that back going. I know she's training with Dennis the Menace.
But can she utilize his leg better in this pose?
No doubt.
Yeah.
I think she can improve her posing. But there's one thing about bodybuilding which you know more than anybody. Good genetics with size, then it's just a matter of minor adjustments, conditioning and posing, right?
Yeah.
She has the size and she has the small waist. Let's see if she can come in condition. And let's see, after 1 year off, because we were missing her last year's Olympia, after 1 year off, what can we see on that back? As soon as she goes to a show to win her qualification, the first thing I'm going to be looking is
All
I want to
eyes.
see that back double biceps and that back lat spread.
All eyes on her back.
I love the fact Jake Wood has a passion for this part of the sport, for this division, and has brought it back to the main stage at the Olympia and fostered the Rising Phoenix all these years to make sure women bodybuilding in the open has a forum. We've lost in the last couple of years Margie Martin, who was just a staple to the top 5. I think Hella Trevino last year may have been her last year. So now it's time for that fresh blood to come in and challenge Andrea Shaw. Much like, and one of the things about bodybuilding, women have gone from, I've outgrown figure, I move on to women's physique. You outgrow women's physique, you move on to women's bodybuilding. I'm looking forward to that next 2 or 3 people that are going to come in and fill out that top 5, top 7,
Yeah, and Haley,
make it a battle.
Haley just had a major surgery. I don't know if it was her knee or something like that, but she just had that to deal with. So that may sideline her, but she's not over it yet. Also, I think she's going to be back as soon as she can. But yes, I would say, improve the bag, improve some posing, and we're going to get a whole new competitor.
I just want to see some fresh blood. I really encourage women. You love the iron, get up there, get into women's bodybuilding and grow into that class and fill that stage out with the best of the best, because it is a blast to see all these years and the evolution of that from the years of Corey Everson, Sharon Bruno, Rachel
Bergman,
Yvette Iris Kyle, and Vicky Gates, and
you're not gonna mention Linda Murray.
I'm getting there. 8-time champion Linda Murray.
Okay.
That's my champion.
Yaxeni Ora-Ken. There was so many great. That stage was full for a while, and now that Jake is back and it's got the respect that it deserves, fill out that stage.
Somebody is going to be Miss Olympia after Andrea Shaw. It could very well be Natalia Kovaleva, but Andrea Shaw, man, after she lost the Rising Phoenix, she sent a message to everybody in the world: don't come mess with me. I'm going to bring my best.
Well, guys, we know it's the best. It takes hard training, a great diet, and it takes some good supplementation. Tarek, what would you use if you were supplementing?
Listen, this protein here is cookies and cream, and it's 0 fat, 0 gluten, and 0 sugar. I mean, dude, this is just getting protein. This is just pure protein in your body, so you can get as lean as possible. When you're craving something sweet, you can go for Pro Zero with Global Formulas. Train hard, demand the best. The official and only sponsor of Primetime Muscle, Global Formulas.
Well, guys, as always, we thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think about Missy Truscott moving to figure, Natalia Coelho and Sarah Villegas going at it again this year.
Push some likes.
Like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends that love the sport. Thank you, as always, Global Formulas. Man, it flies by. Chris Cormier.
Yeah, man. I'm going to miss you.
I'll see you guys in a few weeks. You go travel all over the world and come back with some cool stories
I'll be seeing you.
that we will share with you fans. Tarek El Guindy, Chris Cormier, Tim Wilkins. We'll see you on the next Primetime Muscle.